people ask me if Amtrak Business Class is worth it. And I always respond, well, I have no idea because I've never taken it. I'm used to taking business class flights. I've taken some flights in coach and economy, so I can actually compare coach and business class on a plane, but I could never do that on Amtrak until I took my first business class train ride last month. And you know, it's actually not that bad, but it is still like kind of like a big splurge. So I'll tell you why you should consider taking business class on Amtrak if you have the extra money, and I will let you know why you might not want to take business class. So before I even continue, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button because it really crushes my self-esteem when you don't. Now is actually a great time to take an Amtrak train ride. Amtrak is celebrating its 50th anniversary, so there's tons of really great deals you can get on train fare. On a train ticket. Is train fare right? Anyway. And also, obviously, Amtrak was hit significantly by the pandemic, just like airlines. So, you know, in order to lure passengers back on planes, airlines were offering some of the deepest discounts that they have in, you know, decades. And that's the same thing with Amtrak. So you can actually find business class tickets on Amtrak for really, really cheap. I took the Amtrak Acela Business Class. Wait. There's actually debate on whether it's pronounced Acela or Acela. I call it Acela because I'm from the South and that's what it's, you know, how it's pronounced anyway. So that's that. Okay, so here's the thing about Acela Business Class. It's an all business class train. If you live in New York City, you know that Penn Station went through a major $1.6 billion makeover. The train station is completely transformed. There are no people like sleeping on the ground. You don't have to hop over, you know, people to, you know, get to your train. And in fact, it has like this, it's called Moynihan Train Hall is the new train station. It's beautiful. If you get there early, there is a designated waiting area for you to sit, which is great. And then obviously, you know, they're gonna call your train and then you go on the train. It's simple as that. Okay, so Acela Business Class is a 6-train car. 5 cars are designated for business class and 1 car is designated for first class. Unless your company is paying for that ticket, just don't even do first class because business class is great, right? It's kind of like first class on a plane. Who needs that, right? Just do business class. I opted for the quiet car. There is a designated quiet car. It's car number 2. I wanted a quiet journey. I wanted to get work done. I didn't want to be, you know, in a car with, you know, college students that are like partying or whatever. I know that doesn't happen. Listen, I know that doesn't happen. I'm just saying, like, you know what? You don't want to be in a car with like 300 kids screaming. I don't know, maybe you do. I didn't. I wanted to get some work done. So I booked car 2, seat 17C. It was the last row on the train. The seat that I booked is a 4-person table, so there's 2 seats facing you. And what's great about this 4-top is that if there's no one else sitting there, you have tons of leg room. You can adjust the table to be like small or big. And it's like a little, it feels like just like a little seating area for yourself, which is amazing. Also, the business class seats are pretty big. They're big and wide. So if you want comfortable seats, do the upgrade to business class. Okay, so back to the quiet car. One thing about the quiet car, what makes it quiet is that you're not allowed to use your phone and you're really not supposed to make any sort of noticeable sound that's even like talking to someone that you might be traveling with. You can whisper to them, but like everyone respects the rules of the quiet car. So if you're not going to be quiet, book the normal cars. Yeah? Okay. So I booked my ticket on a Thursday around 11 a.m. from New York City to D.C. Not a lot of people are traveling around that time, so my car was only about 50% full. That was amazing. Every passenger gets 2 personal items, like a purse or a backpack, 2 carry-on bags up to 50 pounds. There's luggage storage in each car. There's ample overhead bin space. I have to say, it was a really nice journey. Actually, one thing about these 4-seat table, they don't have footrests. So footrests are important to you. Get one of the normal seats. But if you just want to stretch out your legs, do the four-top table, but make sure that nobody's sitting there, right? And whether you book a four-top seat or a normal seat, the seats do recline. One of the benefits of the train is the huge windows, and I love that. And obviously, you're on the ground at sea level, you're going through a lot of different landscapes. So I thought that was great. You have these huge, massive windows you can look out and gaze into, whatever factory fields or, pastures. It doesn't matter. I like looking out windows. On a plane, however, you're 10,000 feet high in the sky. There's nothing to look out, or look at. And depending on the time of day you fly, flight attendants and passengers really want you to close those windows. Anyway, that's the whole thing about trains. I love, all the natural light that comes in, and I love, looking out windows. The train conductor was really friendly, really professional, really courteous. You could tell he really loved his job. You could tell he was, grateful to be in business class, where everyone's a little bit more professional. Moving on with the review of the Acela Business Class, free Wi-Fi, and it's strong Wi-Fi, and it's actually good Wi-Fi. I was shocked. I remember being on trains back in the day where you didn't have any of that. The other great thing about Acela Business Class is you have limited stops, so it will go faster. So a normal train ride from Washington, D.C. to New York City and vice versa is about 3.5 to 4 hours. On the Acela Business Class, there are limited stops, so it's only 3 hours. And I know that 30 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're on this train, it makes a huge difference. When you reach the 2 hour 45 minute mark, you're just oh my God, there's only 15 more minutes. This is amazing. So the final verdict on whether you should upgrade to business class on your Amtrak train ride in the Acela Business Class is, yeah, do it. If you're into comfort and space, hell yeah, do it. Listen, as someone who has traveled as much as I have, the number one priority you want to look for in any sort of commute, whether it's plane, train, or automobile, is comfort, right? Who cares about anything else? You want comfort. You can go from New York City to Washington D.C. in business class for $120 if you get it, 2 weeks in advance or more, depending on the actual time that you're going. And coach is what, $100? I don't know. You're not paying that much more. Also, listen, we had a couple hard years. I think it's time that you treat yourself. And thirdly, once travel gets back on track, pun intended, because of Amtrak, all the fares are just going to go back to normal prices. So is a business class ticket on Amtrak worth it? Yes. And if you're going on a really long journey, 3 hours or longer, if you don't book business class, then get a really good neck pillow. Okay, great. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.